Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now if you hear the little one in the background, it's because he hasn't been very well with being sick and stuff, so he's off school. But I am filming today the much awaited FOREO follow-up. So it has now been 6.5 weeks, nearly 7 weeks since I bought my FOREO, and I promised you I was going to do an update. So you are seeing me at the moment with absolutely no makeup on. I've cleansed my face. I haven't done anything else to it because I thought I'd do another little demo using my FOREO device and give you an update. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some before and after photographs right here now. Okay, sorry, I've just zipped up my top because I'm getting cold. Right, now the thing is about before and after photographs. I don't want to fool anybody here, right? I'm not earning any money out of doing this. I'm very sort of keen to not only show you guys whether it's caused any good changes, but to show myself. I made sure that when I started doing this, I took before photographs and after photographs and throughout the journey, because I wanted to see whether, sometimes the power of suggestion can be very powerful. So I thought what I would do is now I would insert a clip of me before I started using my FOREO device. So now you're going to see an extract from a video from August, which is me with no makeup on before I started using my FOREO, so that you can see in real time I'm in the same position. It might be slightly different light. I'm not going to get exactly the same conditions, but you're going to see my face moving in real time, so that it's not just about before and after pictures. And I'm going to leave it for you guys to think and to see and to decide. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you about some of the other things that I've been doing, so that you can factor that in. So here is the video in slow motion of me back in August with no makeup on. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I think it's made a big difference. Now let's be really as scientific as we can be, given that I'm not a scientist. But I like to be level-headed about these things because I do think it's made a big difference. But I want to kind of talk about some of the other things that may have made a difference. Now, one of the things is obviously when that was made, that video, we were coming to the end of summer. And with hyperpigmentation, my hyperpigmentation does tend to be worse in the summer. So when you're looking at these areas, they do tend to die down a little bit more naturally in the winter. Although I would say that this has given me a better result than in normal winter time. In terms of this scar, which you can see is still not completely gone, this really wasn't caused by sun damage. It was caused by me trying to remove that lesion on my head with some tea tree oil. And the skin, I got a bit impatient, put too much on, and the skin around it burnt, and it caused scarring. So that is what that mark was, and it has reduced remarkably to the point now that I can just cover it up, and hopefully it will continue to do so. But there was one other product that I did introduce at the same time as the FOREO, and I've said this right from the beginning, so in the interest of transparency, I'm going to show you the product. So this is the product that I introduced, and it's called azelaic acid by The Ordinary. And this is because I had seen a dermatologist called Dr. Sam Bunting talking about the benefits of this for pigmentation caused by acne scarring. Now, although mine is not caused by acne scarring, and a lot of this is hormonal, I thought it might help with the scarring here because it was quite bumpy and raised. And as you can see now, it's reasonably flat. If you noticed in the videos in August, I don't know whether I had the scar then. I'll have to check back on that. But it was actually, if I can find a video of where I had the scarring right afterwards, it was quite bumpy and raised here. So I think that the azelaic acid has had some benefits as well as the FOREO device. But certainly in terms of evening out my skin tone and my skin feeling good and in good nick, I think the FOREO is well worth the money. So let's get on to some of the masks, and I'll give you an update on the masks. So over the weeks, I've now tried out all the masks, so that I've got all the programs on my device. And I do recommend having a look. I will put a link below to my previous video where I talked about the masks and the associated programs, and a little bit about getting the most use out of your masks, so that you can see that I'm going to go into more depth in some areas that I didn't in that video, and in that video I'm trying not to repeat myself too much. However, what I have done as just something for me to refer to is I made a little spreadsheet, and then I stuck it on some cards so that I can refer to it, which will basically give me an idea of what each program for each mask delivers, so that I can actually decide what program I want as well as what mask I want. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of red light in these programs, looking at it from there, and I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check, because I'm actually sure that this one, the Glow Addict mask, actually starts with green light, and that is incorrect. So that's the one thing that I'm not sure about, so I'll have to double check that, and I will superimpose my voice over the top and let you know if that's right. But first of all, so I'm going to run through all the masks. Now, the default program, as I understand it, on the FOREO device is Make My Day. I said yesterday or the day before when I did my last video, it was Call It a Night, but it's Make My Day. So if you turn on your machine and you do nothing, it will go onto the Make My Day routine. And so this is exactly what it says it does, really. Now this is part of the regular collection, so you get 7 masks in it for $9.99, and in there you get 30 seconds of warming, and then you get 30 seconds of T-Sonic warming and red light, and then you get 30 seconds of T-Sonic and green light, which will brighten your complexion ready for the day. Okay, so then moving on to the night mask, which is called Call It a Night. Now these, actually I'm on my second. I think these are very good to use at night, very relaxing, and I like the warmth from this program just before going to bed. So I am on my second packet, and these are also $9.99 for 7 masks. So very, very good value. Can you see that? Now this one will give you 30 seconds of warming and T-Sonic vibration, then just 30 seconds of red light. Oh no, sorry, I've merged that. So warming, T-Sonic, and it's on a lower intensity so that it doesn't stimulate you too much, but just calms you down. Okay, so then next we move on to what have I got next? Shimmer Freak. Okay, now Shimmer Freak is the eye mask. Okay, so I've only got one left of these. We're now moving on to the next mask that I'm talking about. The next 5 are part of the advanced range, which cost $18.99 for 6 masks. So a little bit more expensive, but you get more from the programs out of these masks. Now, you don't necessarily have to continue buying these masks, because once you've uploaded the program, as you will know from my previous video, you will get the program stored on your device, and you can use that program with your day or your night mask and get the cheaper mask if you want. But if you want the ingredients from this, then it's a good idea, and particularly for this one because it is an eye mask. So for this one, you're getting caffeine in the mask, and you are getting some warming first of all, and then some cooling T-Sonic with red light. So the warming will help the caffeine to penetrate around the eyes, and then it goes very, very cold to help to depuff the eye area, and you get red light, and then the red light switches to blue, which is also really cooling, and T-Sonic massage, which is so nice. I suffer from blepharitis, which is a chronic condition, so every now and again I get very swollen eyes, and I find that a really lovely mask to use around my eyes, and it doesn't make me more sensitive. I can use it on very, very sensitive days. Obviously, sensitivity is an individual thing, so I can't guarantee that for you guys. You just have to try it yourself. But for me, it doesn't cause me any sensitivity. Okay, so moving on to Glow Addict, which is this mask. And Glow Addict is basically the one that I'm on my second packet of these, because this gives me exactly what I want. It's got pearl infusion, it's got the ingredients for brightening, and it's also got the green light. So as you can see, that the program is warming for the first 30 seconds to help the product absorb, and then you have green light. I think the green light actually comes in sooner than the 30 seconds, and I may have got that graph slightly wrong, so I will check, and I'll put a voiceover on. I'll freeze this and put a voiceover if that's correct after this video. Okay, I did check on the website, and interestingly enough, the mistake is actually on the website, but when you look closely, they've put the incorrect information. So the first 30 seconds they've put for the Shimmer Freak mask instead of the glow mask. But I can confirm just from doing the program that it is basically green light right from the beginning of the program and warming. The reason I picked up there was a mistake on the website is because it says the first part of the program is cooling on the eye, and that's definitely the Shimmer Freak mask. So they've mixed up the information on the website. So just to confirm, it is green light all the way through and warming at the beginning of the program for the glow mask. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's Glow Addicts. So very good if you've got hyperpigmentation. Okay, so next we're moving on to Youth Junkie. Now, Youth Junkie I found very good as well. I actually found that Youth Junkie was slightly more moisturising for me than the H2 Overdose, which is the one that's supposed to be for moisture. And I think if you've got dehydrated skin because of aging and because of you've got fine lines and wrinkles due to dehydration, I would definitely recommend Youth Junkie as opposed to the H2 Overdose. But if you look at the two programs, so this one's Youth Junkie, and I'm going to show you the H2 Overdose, which is this one. This is the difference with the program. So the Youth Junkie's got more red light in the program. It's got warming T-sonic massage and red light. Whereas with the H2 Overdose mask, you've got warming, T-sonic massage, and then you've got green light. So it's moisturising and it will help to even out your complexion as well. So it just depends what you want. But I actually found the ingredients in the Youth Junkie mask worked slightly better at helping retain moisture for me. And I suppose it really does depend on the cause of your dry skin, because some people it can be dehydrated and some people it's due to sensitivity and eczema, etc. But for me, I definitely found that Youth Junkie was more moisturising than H2 Overdose, which is this one. Okay, and finally, I wasn't sure whether I was going to get Matte Maniac, which is this one here, but I did eventually get it. Now, I thought I wanted to try it. I wanted to have all the programs on my FOREO. And I'm really glad that I did, because this one I found, if you're like me, most people, when you look at Dr. Sam Bunting's website, I'm always mentioning it, I know, but she said that the majority of people in the population have got combination skin. Of some degree, so that the middle of their face will have more oil glands and the outer part of their face will be drier. And that's generally speaking, the majority have that. And I definitely get oilier down the centre of my face and drier around the side. So I was a bit concerned about whether or not Matte Maniac was going to be right for me, because I didn't want it to dry out certain areas. And I'd read people with oily skin saying this is fantastic, it's dried out my skin, it doesn't get oily throughout the day. And I thought, uh-oh, maybe not. But anyway, I gave it a try, and I found that it didn't dry out those areas. It was fine. It was just like a very lightweight gel serum. But what I did find is, because this program has got, it's basically got very unusual one here, as you can see, that stands out from the others. So it starts with warming to help, all of them start with warming to help the product to absorb. Then you get a cooling sonic massage, so it cools down. And then continuing to cool, it then has purple light, which is supposed to add to the benefits of blue light for acne. What I found with this mask was that I used it just before I put my makeup on one day, and my foundation went on like a dream, because it shrunk all these pores around this area and this area. And so what I've been doing a lot is I might start by using my Glow Addict mask, and then let that sink in, put my moisturiser on, and then just before, let all of that sink in, and just before I put my makeup on, I might go back in, maybe even with the same pad and not with the Matte Maniac, you know, using the new mask, but without changing the pad, just put it onto the Matte Maniac program and wipe it over my face, and it will cool down and it shrinks in the pores. But this is definitely good as a primer, very worth getting for a primer, and it does not dry your skin out. But I can see how it would help you if you were oily, but do not be afraid of it if you're dry, because it won't strip the skin. It won't make it really moisturised, but it won't strip the skin either. So those are the masks. So let's move on to my final thoughts. I do not regret buying this FOREO machine at all. What will happen is, if you purchase it, and I know a few of you did, that when you first buy it, you'll use it a lot. And why not? And then you gradually calm down and you start using it a little bit more sensibly. And I kind of find now that I use it kind of 2 or 3 times a week. It's very good. It gives me my me time. When I'm doing a facial, it makes it feel complete. Sometimes you will see, as in my previous video, I might add another mask, because I like the feeling of kind of languishing in a mask, which you don't quite get with the FOREO. You know, if you're somebody that likes the idea of lying back and kind of relaxing with a mask on your face, you're not going to get that as much with the FOREO, because it's basically a 90-second mask. What I do is I always put it on for a second run, and the reason I do that is not to get necessarily to get double the benefit, but I find that the product hasn't sunk in after the first treatment. And yes, I could actually do that with my hands, but I just put it on for another 90 seconds. I'm not in so much of a hurry that I can't afford to run the program again. There are 2 ways that you can use the device, and I think a lot of people looking at the reviews think that you have to use it with your phone. You don't. You can use it with just on manual, and I am going to show you how. It takes a bit of working out, and sometimes even now I'm still a bit unsure, but once you get the hang of it, you will get an idea. So let me just get the FOREO, and it's right down here, so I'll just grab that and I'll show you. Okay, so if you are actually deciding to use the FOREO without using the app, the default, I'm just going to check this and I'll be right back. Okay, I was just checking to make sure. So when you switch this machine on, the default program is definitely the Make My Day mask. So if you do nothing other than to switch this machine on and leave it there, it will start. You will see it will go round and it will flash one light. And if you do nothing else, in a minute, it's going to take me onto the Make My Day mask program. Okay, which is the red light, as you can see, and the warming, as you can see. Okay, now I'm going to switch that off. I'm going to confuse it now. Okay, so if you now likewise, if you switch this machine on and you do, instead of doing nothing, after you switch it on and it flashes, you then press once. It will go to call it a night. Okay, then leave it and it'll wait about 10 seconds and on to the call it a night. Then you kind of have to remember, which you'll see here, I've done 3, 4, 5, 6, what order you bought your masks in. It will show you in the app on the little circle the order that you bought your masks in. But if you say if you've only bought, say, a couple, and you started using, the first one that you scanned in was Youth Junkie, then if you turn on the machine and then you press once. You do nothing for day, once for night, and then press it twice. Then Youth Junkie will come on. If that was the first one that you got, that you scanned in. Okay, so that's why you have to remember which ones you scanned in what order. Or check the wheel on your app, because it will show you them in order around the app, clockwise. So it'll have day, night, and then it'll be in whatever order you scan them in after that. And that will tell you how many times to press the button. The confusing thing that confused me at first is the fact that you've got the default of pressing nothing for make my day. So night is actually not 2, it's 1. Press it once for night, twice for Shimmer Freak, because that's the one I got next, 3 times for Glow Addict, and so on and so on. Okay, that way you don't need to use it with the app, and you don't need to scan in your masks. Once you scan them in once, it's on your machine. You do have to buy 1 packet of masks if you want that program, and you need to scan it in once. After that, if you get to the end of a packet and you want to continue using that program, like the Glow Addict program, but you don't want to buy the masks anymore, you don't have to. You can actually get the day and the night masks for $9.99 for 7, and put the Glow Addict program on if you want to. So that's another really easy way to economize. It just really depends on what your budget is, and whether you think the ingredients are helping you as much as the program and the lights. I think they're all reasonably priced. I love it. I don't regret this purchase. I can't think of anything else to say. I'm going to leave you again with the before and after pictures and the before and after video. If you have any further questions about this device, please leave your comments below and I'll be happy to get back to you. And for those of you that went and got one, let me know how you're getting on with yours, because I'll be really interested to know how you're finding it, what your favourite masks are. Let me know, leave your comments below. You know I love interacting with you guys. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed my video, and I will do a final close-up turn in of my face, and then I will zoom you straight to the video of me back in August, and then my before and after still photographs. And let me know also your thoughts on whether you think it's helped. Even if you think it doesn't, I'm not going to be offended. I actually want to know from you guys, because it's very difficult. Sometimes you want something to work. You really want it to work, and I will not be offended if you say I don't think it's made any difference to you, Ali, because I think that feedback's useful. You know, it just helps you to work out what's helped, what hasn't. And I'll also put some details of azelaic acid. Sorry, it's not azelaic acid, it's azelaic acid. I keep pronouncing that wrong. This is from The Ordinary. It costs £5. I bought a new tube, and I still haven't started using the new tube yet, because the amount you use is such a minimal amount. And this has really, really helped me. I think also to get on top of that scar on my head, certainly. I think the longer term hyperpigmentation is a long haul, and it takes sunscreen and all sorts of other things. And if you want me to do a sort of more in-depth video about what I've done to help my hyperpigmentation, I shall do that and put your comment below. Okay, so see you very soon. The next video I'm going to do, I'm not going to promise what it is, but it'll be a makeup one. Okay, so hope you enjoyed today, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Just a quick PS. I meant to say that I've made myself some pads so I can use my own skincare. And basically, what I ended up getting from Amazon was something called disposable paper towels. I tried dry wipes, which I have here as well. They're not as soft. They work, but they're just a little bit too absorbent. So they're a little bit more, they're okay. But if you get what's called a hand towel, they seem to be the closest thing to what they actually supply in the mask. And I made myself a little template and I cut loads out, and you can literally get a pack of 100 for about £2, and one hand towel will make about 8. So I've got loads in here and still loads of hand towels. So definitely try that. And if you are using your skincare, what I will say is you need to do a bit of experimentation. I tried something and it just went a bit like glue once some of the serums that you use don't react very well to heat, being right next to it, and they kind of go a bit gluey and sticky. So I haven't experimented as much as I probably had planned to do, because I've just stuck to the FOREO mask. And I do think at the end of the day, considering that I'm about to use one right now and I've got loads and loads of treatment in there from the mask that I did yesterday, that you can get 2 uses out of that mask, then I don't really, and I'm using it twice a week. If you want to use it every day, then you might want to start thinking about what serum you want to put on it. But I think twice a week, using one mask a week, it's not really worth struggling with your own skincare. But you can do that, and you have that option. All right, sorry about that. I'm going to edit that in.